good evening. I guess you all should remember about Yousef, who declared war on me and now thinks he controls debate topics. Actually, he just wants to bloviate. Well, I debunked his claim about the all caps name in my last video, and he failed to rebut my evidence. In fact, he simply ignored it. Oh gosh. And he was going to do it, rebut the video to it twice. Never got around to it. So in the alternative, I will debunk the foundation upon which his beliefs and so-called university is based. The all caps name is one of them, and I have won that debate. In this video, I will be debunking his characterization of me and his philosophical beliefs regarding money and the false info upon which he relies for his premises. He holds many misinterpretations of law, court decisions, statutory construction, and rules of evidence and procedure. So I will be making more videos responding to those main ones as I go along. Just like I proved his all caps name premise is BS, I will prove it's his premise that it's all commerce is likewise BS in upcoming videos. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Say you're going to come over to my channel and I'm going to direct the debate. I'm going to pick out the topics we're going to talk about too. You're not going to pick out the topics. I'm going to pick out the topics. You want to debate me? You can debate me. But guess what? I'm going to pick out the topics. We're going to address these topics. That's why I'm telling you this right now.
Yeah, and the topics he wants to cover has absolutely nothing to do with law or any of his BS premises that he sells people about secured party and this kind of nonsense. He really gets in to the Federal Reserve. Evidently, the way the Federal Reserve operates with fiat currency, he thinks he has figured out a way that you can use this information, and he bloviates forever. He never gets to any law or court cases that says and proves that he's wrong, which I will in the future. But he really relies upon something called the Affidavit of Walker F. Todd, which will be covered in this video. So let's let him just continue on here and see where we go.
If you were to get into a discussion about something very simple as, well, let's talk about Federal Reserve notes and the Federal Reserve. See, that's a conversation they can't dodge. You know.
Well, I'm well known for not dodging any discussion on the Federal Reserve because I started getting into the Federal Reserve in 1964 when I was 15 years old, and they were talking about taking the silver out of the coins. So that piqued my curiosity. So I have a very in-depth background. I've done lectures on it. So it's not something I shy away from. That and economics, I really love to talk about that stuff. So there's a little bit of information for you there about me, Yousef.
You look at this guy, Juan Galt. He looks like a Jewish guy. You know what I'm saying? If you start paying attention and you just look at him, and you start, say, okay, well, who are these people and why they don't understand that the United States of America is a constitutional republic?
Well, being a constitutional law attorney, I'm well aware that the U.S. operates under a constitutional republic. That's why I'm a constitutional lawyer. Duh. And as far as me being Jewish, well, you are some real piece of work. I happen to be part black and 0% part Jewish. So get that out of your mind. I mean, my God, I was raised by a Southern Baptist minister, my father. So you're just so off base. You're as wrong about me as you are about your so-called premises and secured party BS. So let's continue.
The only attorneys that I really respect are people like contract attorneys for, or maybe, family law attorneys or, people like that, or people going, ambulance chasers.
Oh, well, you must really respect me then, because when I started my law firm, I did contract law cases. I did some family law cases. As a matter of fact, I set some new grounds for change of custody using, for the first time ever, PAS, the parental alienation syndrome that had just come out by a psychiatrist. So you must really love me, because I also specialized in medical malpractice, helping people who were injured or crippled or paralyzed by big pharma and medical community. So I really appreciate your respect. Thank you.
I respect those guys. Those things, those are the things that I derive my information from. Walker Todd, the Walker Todd affidavit. Remember what I was telling you about?
Okay, there he did. He mentioned Walter Todd. Now I'm going to punt this over to Artie's corporate fiction because he did a video, reaction video to Yousef's reaction video to my reaction video to Yousef's video, if you could follow that. And he did such a wonderful job, and he allows me to do this. So get into this. This is really, really interesting. Let's go.
Walker Todd, bank publication. This is stuff that Walker Todd did. I didn't even know. I got to check this out at Walker Todd. Walker Todd is an attorney. You can see right here, this is the Federal Reserve website. He used to work for the Federal Reserve.
I looked up Walker Todd. So Walker Todd apparently tried to, in a different court case.
Well, I want to correct Artie right here, and he'll get into things real well later on. But I just wanted you guys to know, Walker Todd did not submit this affidavit, and so it's not him doing this. I want you to know that these people are using this affidavit in their particular case, and Artie covers it great. Let's go.
Try to present himself as a here we go. This is a better one. As an expert.
Chartered private deposit.
Former employee of Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland. He said he worked with Cleveland and New York as well.
Federal Reserve Board before Mariner.
This sounds like this is a foreclosure case because it's Bank One versus it looks like a husband and wife. And he's basically arguing that the money that the bank loaned the couple for the mortgage didn't exist. It's not money. That's his argument.
Walker Todd is an expert in money. All right. The things that we teach.
He really is an expert in money. I looked him up and I read his bio and CV, and yeah, he's an expert.
It's based off information like this, Mr. Galt. This is what I'm reading from.
I heard you. You're basing your stuff off stuff like this. Okay, good. Everybody keep that in mind. You too, Yousef, keep that in mind.
You can put this as an exhibit when you introduce a bill of exchange or some sort of negotiable instrument, and they try to tell you that this is a worthless piece of paper. All right. Well, okay. Well, Federal Reserve knows what worthless pieces of paper.
Also, please do not enter it as an exhibit. For example, because this is what's going to happen. Turnbull versus Thaler. Turnbull entitles his response. Plaintiff's presentment chargeback affidavit for commercial discharge. Walter F. Todd affidavit UCC1 ad for payment of process of $350 fees. Responses as follows. Michael John Turnbull, copyright, secure party creditor, authorized representative, attorney in fact on behalf of debtor, Michael John Turnbow, copyright, and legis, fiction at law. It's just word salad. Turnbull's affidavit goes on to make various other claims concerning the monetary system of the United States, which appear to be drawn from the next attachment, which is a purported affidavit from an individual named Walker F. Todd, who identified himself as an attorney and a legal officer for the Federal Reserve Banks in New York and Cleveland. In this affidavit, which is unsigned and thus inadmissible in any event, Todd supposedly offers expert testimony on the validity of a banknote in what appears to be a suggestion that credit extended by a bank is not legal tender. Todd allegedly concludes that money of exchange, or real money, is not required to repay a banknote. The purported affidavit says that when banks extend their own credit, money of an account, but the benefits are required to repay in money, money of exchange, and lawful money of that, there exists an inequality of obligations. This supposed affidavit is widely circulated on the internet. Walker Todd has advised, however, Walker Todd has advised the U.S. Department of Justice that the affidavit is fraudulent.
Whoa, Yousef, did you hear that? The affidavit is fraudulent. He didn't write it. He says he didn't write it. You got it? You're basing all your BS on a lie, on something that was made up by somebody to sell to somebody else to make them think they didn't have to use money to pay off their debts. You got that? God, what a doofus.
C. United States versus Khan. Criminal number 1:08, criminal 271 DC 2010. In addition, the theories propounded and the purported affidavit have been uniformly rejected by the courts.
Did you hear that? It's rejected by the courts. Where are you going to use it and make an argument when the courts reject it? Jesus.
C. McGregor versus Wells Fargo Bank. See, Virginia Community Bank versus Fisher. So no, do not submit this BS affidavit when you're being foreclosed upon. It's not going to get you anywhere. Another one.
Wait, there's more.
Another one. It was useless. Thomas versus J.P. Morgan. Harmon versus U.S. Bank of North America. As noted above, the first exhibit is entitled "The Affidavit of Walker F. Todd, Expert Witness for the Defendants." This case capture for this affidavit is Bank 1 N.A. versus Dave et al. This case is out of the Circuit Court for Oakland County, Michigan. This case was disposed of in January 9, 2004. The affidavit itself is dated December 5th, 2003. As far as the court could tell, plaintiffs have no connection to this case, which involves different parties in a different state, which concluded over 17 years ago. Rather, it appears plaintiffs are using the affidavit to promote a certain theory regarding the enforceability of promissory notes.
That's all they're doing. They're using this bogus BS, these lies, to try to support their belief system and their narrative that the money system is bogus. There you go. That's what Yousef has based everything on. And I'll cover more fully what he says to, or his beliefs that he's been told or that he's learned from other types of sources like this nonsense here. I'll cover it all. Just hold your horses, Yousef. I'm going to cover it.
In particular, the Todd affidavit proposes that a bank, in extending credit, is not actually lending its own pre-existing money, credit, or assets, meaning that the resulting note fails for lack of consideration. That's what they're trying to do. The affidavit also argues that due to the nature of this type of lending, the bank is actually the borrower, while the borrower is actually the lender.
And that is what they're basing. That's what Yousef tells people. He says, here's what it is, and here's why, and this is what it is. So he'll try to skate around and say, well, I'm not saying it. I'm just repeating what somebody else says. Well, that shows your research and comprehension skills, doofus, which are woefully lacking.
Just make no effort to explain why this affidavit, which was clearly not authored for them, has any relevance to their case. So no, do not do this.
Thank you all for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little. I'm going to continue to expose this